Hello, and welcome to Become a Media Magnet, how to go from hidden to the headlines. My name is Rena Goodwin. I am so excited you're here. Get ready, buckle up. We are about to go for an exciting ride as I show you how to land and leverage free publicity for your brand. This webinar is for you if you are a small business owner and you're responsible for growth at your business. So you could be a small business owner or someone who is responsible for the growth at your business. You have a strong product or service or expertise that you believe deserves the spotlight. You're unsure of how to tell your brand's story in a way that captivates journalists and gets picked up by the media. You want to diversify your marketing in a way that will attract new customers and not just pursue them with advertising. And you're tired of throwing spaghetti at the wall and ready to implement a strategy to land and leverage media coverage that is proven to work. Now, more than ever, my friends, we need to set aside our beliefs that free publicity is only reserved for major brands with major budgets, because in my experience working in PR, that is simply not true, because press coverage itself is earned. It is not bought. And the best way to earn media coverage is through building relationships with those that give the coverage, such as journalists. Meet Naprim Naturals. This is one of our former clients here at FACTEUR PR. This is a one-woman show, so a solopreneur, if you would, that focuses on a small batch line of skincare and body care products. The owner was very, very new to media relations, and within the first 2 weeks of working together, her first press hit was on today.com, which is huge, right, for a virtually unknown brand. And she was able to leverage that coverage on her Amazon page to help drive sales for her exclusive all-natural clean beauty dry shampoo product. But if you are a product-based business or a service-based business, PR is going to be super beneficial for you. But if you're an expert as well, too, listen up, because this is Melanie Schmoys. She's a mindset leader for elite athletes and high achieving professionals. And within just 3 months, look at the array of media coverage that we were able to secure alongside of her in places like InStyle, The Washington Post, Healthline, Nike.com, the Every Girl, Real Simple, and more, to really help differentiate herself from other coaches in the industry. And if you are here and you're a coach, I know you know just how competitive that field is. Media coverage can help elevate your own brand up against your potential competitors and really help build that oh so needed credibility. So during today's training, we are going to cover 3 major topics. The first topic is, what is PR? How is it different than marketing and why it is so valuable? The second topic we're going to cover is how to leverage PR. A lot of people think you get a piece of press coverage and the sales will just come rolling in. It's a little bit more nuanced than that. So we're going to tackle this topic here as well. And I'm going to show you how to leverage media coverage to help boost your business as well. And then last but not least, we're going to actually show you how to land free publicity for your brand too. So stick with me. We're going to talk about a lot here, but I promise everything that we're going to learn today is going to be valuable and impactful for your business. My guarantee for you by the time you leave this webinar is that you will feel inspired and absolutely worthy of asking for top-tier media attention for your brand, and empowered to leverage these results to help boost your business. So if we have not met before, I should probably start by introducing myself, right? My name is Rena Goodwin, and it's so great to have you here with me today. I am the founder and CEO of FACTEUR PR. I have been in this industry for over 15 years, and 9 years ago this year, I started FACTEUR PR. We're an award-winning boutique communication studio for lifestyle brands. I actually started my career working in the music industry. I was in the marketing side of things, working for rock stars like Beyonce, the Jonas Brothers, Celine Dion. I joke they were my first clients, but they really kind of were my first clients ever. And I jumped over to wellness PR, especially lifestyle PR, because of just a personal passion of mine. And that's why I think it's so important to learn how to be your own publicist or learn the ins and outs of PR, especially as well, too, because you really do have to learn when you are a business owner how to advocate and promote yourself, right? So went from working for rock stars to building a company that supports bootstrapping entrepreneurs and billion-dollar brands. But my journey actually starts even before that. You could say as young as 16 years old, I wanted to be a journalist. And big reason being, and this is a picture of baby Rena at 16 years old, but big reason being is I've always had a knack and a passion for storytelling. And specifically when it comes to media relations, I really experienced firsthand at a very young age just how much publicity could really help shape a business. My parents are immigrants and they came to this country in the 80s and have been in the restaurant industry ever since. And since I was a little girl, I saw, one piece of media coverage framed on the wall, right, to today, where they've got an entire wall of different press clippings. And that really, in many ways, in addition to feeling like their legacy, is just the credibility, right? When a new customer or client comes in through the door and sees all of these incredible features, right? We're borrowing that credibility from that media, and it can really help change the game in terms of the outlook for your business as well, too. So we're all about results here, and we're going to talk about results today, specifically what can media coverage really do for your business. I have here 6 examples. These are just 6 of some of the most incredible results that I've seen media coverage have an impact on for our clients at Factor PR. Revenue growth is a big one, right? That's what everyone's ultimately really looking for. But that is equated to more than $250,000 in 48 hours for our clients from one piece of media coverage, right? Results might not be typical, but they are absolutely possible. Again, I'm going to show you how to do this yourself. Huge amount of increased visibility to the tune of 16 billion earned media impressions in just 3 months. Audience growth on social media in just a month after starting a PR campaign. Wholesale accounts, if you're a product-based business and you're looking to get into retail partners like Bloomingdale's, Macy's, Nordstrom, press coverage can definitely help get you there. Repeat customers, right? This isn't just about attracting new customers, but also about keeping your current customers interested, engaged, and trusting your brand as well too. And also winning high profile awards. We've been able to secure high profile awards in places like Good Housekeeping, Inc., Fast Company, and more. Here at Factor, and even just throughout my career, I've pretty much worked with every single media outlet, especially here in the United States. These are just a few, everything from Forbes to Good Housekeeping, Martha Stewart, Allure, Women's Health, Inc., Elle, Entrepreneur, you name it. All of the insights that I'm going to share with you today can be applied for just about any type of industry, any type of media outlet that there is. So let's go back to our agenda here really quick. We're going to talk first about what is PR, because I see a lot of times in this industry, PR and marketing are sort of used interchangeably. And while they are similar, they are not the same. So let's first start with the definition of marketing. Marketing is the activity of communicating, promoting, and ultimately selling to an audience for the purpose of generating revenue. So in other words, with marketing, we're directly asking for something, ultimately a sale, but we're also asking for, maybe it's an email sign up first, an opt-in of some kind, right? So marketing is about the ask, whereas PR is really about the give, because what PR stands for is about building relationships by building reputation, right? So PR is the activity of building relationships with your audience for the purpose of maintaining and improving your brand's reputation. So if you kind of look at them side by side, You could say PR helps maintain or build a reputation, whereas marketing's primary function is to generate revenue. And of course, we know too, right? When you have a good reputation, it makes your marketing a lot easier. So PR is how you build a brand. Marketing is how you build a business, is another good way to think about it. I absolutely love this quote. If you follow us on Instagram at Factor PR, I throw this one around all the time. So I just think it's cute. And I think it's a great example of the relationship, right? If a young man tells his date how handsome, smart, and successful he is, that's advertising. If the young man tells his date that she is very lovely and is a great conversationalist, he's saying the right things to the right person, and that's marketing. But if someone else tells the young woman how handsome, smart, and successful her date is, that's PR, right? So we want people to say great things about our business. Famed entrepreneur Alex Hormozy calls this concept proof over promise, which is really kind of another way of saying having good PR for your business. If you can show people that others are saying great things about your business or sharing great things about your business, it is more convincing and helps build your reputation better than if we were to go out and say great things about our business. So it's really not either or one or the other. Marketing and PR, we like to consider a love story. They really complement each other. So it's not marketing versus PR. Should I do marketing or PR? If you're here with me today, ideally, I want you to do both, right? You are here to build a business for the long run. You're going to want to combine marketing and PR efforts, at least at some point, if not all the time, for your business. Because the function of marketing and PR is to build that brand awareness, right? That top of the funnel is so important, so that when a consumer is ready to purchase your product or your service, they first know that you exist, right? And then they know that you're among the best options, which is PR. We see this play out all the time, right? Whether you know it or not, especially during something as simple and benign as a Google search, right? So this is an example of a search of best coffee mugs. You type in, I'm looking for the best coffee mug. At the very top of the screen, you're going to see paid media placements, which are ads for best coffee mugs, right? So we've got various beautiful coffee mugs. One from one of our clients is actually up here, which is kind of funny. And then right below it, we've got stories about the best coffee mugs. Good Housekeeping, best coffee mugs according to our editors. Food and Wine, the best coffee mugs our editors love, right? They're putting their stamp of approval on these coffee mugs. So you can see the relationship between marketing and PR. Both are helpful for brand awareness. One is driving sales and one is driving reputation, right? So this is a great example of the relationship between marketing and PR. If I have any marketers or even publicists that are with me today too, you might be familiar with the good old PESO model. PESO standing for paid, earned, shared, and owned media. Paid media is advertising efforts, of course. Earned media, which we're talking about here today, things like public relations efforts, media relations. Shared media, you can imagine things like influencer content, your social channels, and owned media, podcasts, website, blogs, etc. So the PESO model is leveraged as a way, 4 different ways of media that you can leverage to help promote your business. And just to once again confirm for today's conversation, we're really going to focus on that earned category. The main reason being, in my experience and in chatting with hundreds of business owners over the years, most businesses have a pretty good handle or at least understanding of how advertising works, how social media works, how a website and their blog works. Till this day, earned media, even though it's something that we all consume every day, landing earned media seems to still remain the most mysterious of the PESO media types. So that's what I want to empower you with today, is how to land and leverage earned media coverage for your business. It's absolutely possible, and I'm going to show you how. I think something else as part of that equation, however, is also a misunderstanding of the importance of earned media, right? it is incredibly important, especially for a buying decision for a potential customer or consumer, to see what other people are just saying about your business, right? When you're going to shop for, let's say, a new vacuum, I don't know about you, but I read so many reviews, watch so many videos, etc. It's the same kind of thing when you sell a service of some kind or a coaching program, etc. too. You want to see reviews. You want them to be available for you, because that earned media, that reputation is valuable. And media stories are still very trusted entities compared to advertising, especially. Consumers trust an article about a brand 83% more than an ad, according to Nielsen. Media coverage also helps build credibility, right? When you see something like the Good Housekeeping seal of approval on a product, or as seen in Forbes, right? That business, brand, person, what have you, is borrowing credibility from that outlet because they've essentially been pre-vetted by some of these mainstream outlets too. So you get to borrow that credibility as well, which is huge, right? And one of my favorite things about media in particular is that it is memorable. You can really get the most juice out of the squeeze of media coverage and your investment in something like this. Because once you're featured in the New York Times, for example, you are always featured in the New York Times. There's really no expiration date on that, right? So valuable media coverage. But like I said at the beginning, right, media really helps drive your reputation. But how does our reputation or building trust with our customers, how does that translate into revenue? There are a number of ways that this can occur, right? Trust is so important. More than 80% of consumers consider trust a deciding factor in their buying decisions, according to the Harvard Business Review. 80%. And you can't buy trust. You can't buy it with an ad. We can't post something on social and immediately earn people's trust. It does take time. But again, when we're borrowing credibility from something like a high profile media outlet, it absolutely can help with building trust because someone else, right, has said great things about our business, which helps build trust in our own brands. So some of the ways that we can leverage trust, or in this case, something tangible like a piece of media coverage. There are multiple ways that we can leverage it to convert into transactions for our business. I've listed here a few that I'll quickly go through with you, and I'll share a couple of examples of this playing out in the real world as well. But you can share that coverage, of course, on your social. I always tell our clients and members that coverage is content, right? It's content that you don't have to create, because everything we're talking about today, I'm not asking you to go out and write a story for the New York Times. I'm asking you, or teaching you rather, how to get a story written about you in the New York Times, right? And that is coveted coverage that you can leverage on your social channels, that you can use in your advertising on social or digital media, right? To help amplify and attract your ideal customer to approach you, right? When we talk about becoming a media magnet, talking about attracting customers and clients to you rather than pursuing them with things like advertising and traditional marketing efforts. If you're scaling your business and you want to hire people, maybe not now, maybe in the future, media coverage is a great asset to have under your belt to attract top talent. In turn, that top talent is going to help produce increases to your bottom line. I had a client actually in the pet food industry who went to a like an HR type event. So they were there at that event to hire people, or to find people to hire. And they informed my team and I that during this event, people were coming up to them and saying, "Oh my God, I saw you guys in Rolling Stone. I saw this story in Insider, etc." too, right? People got really excited to align themselves potentially with working with a business that has such a great reputation and has the eyes and ears of the media as well too. So another great way to leverage media coverage is to attract top talent to your business, of course, as well too. If you have a brick and mortar, something that I absolutely love and that one of our clients has done at Factor PR is using media coverage in their office to help kind of dazzle their clients, their stakeholders, et cetera, too. So if you've got like a really cool digital screen, or I even love those little photo frames that you can put on your desk and just have some of that media coverage rotating, it really demonstrates such a wow factor that you just, again, you just can't buy that kind of credibility. Our client Mona Dermatology does this in office, and they are such pros at leveraging their media coverage. They actually just told me recently they might be putting it on a billboard here in the not so distant future too, which is so, so cool, right? So it's a great way of leveraging national coverage for local gains, right? You can also do it the other way around, but I tend to see it work best when we get that national media coverage, like placements for them in Vogue, Yahoo, Elle, etc. Putting it in your office, putting it on your blog, expanding on it for SEO purposes. Of course, we've gone to many websites where we see those oh so coveted as seen in logos, and that just instantly builds credibility for our businesses. On the interior design front, we've also seen this not just play out as gorgeous content on social media and the website, but in actual client inquiries as well. So our team managed the social media for Coddington Design, this absolutely beautiful interior design firm in San Francisco. And after initiating our PR campaign and securing and leveraging the press coverage on their social media channels, we got 2 new client inquiries in about 2 weeks, right? So again, what does press coverage do for us? It really helps illuminate our brand, elevates our brand, and helps communicate to potential customers, clients, and even current clients and customers that we are absolutely a cut above the rest. You guys still with me? If you have any questions, by the way, as I'm speaking, I'm kind of looking over at the chat box and the Q&A boxes. So feel free to drop them in there at any point. I'd love to take a look at them. And if I can address it as we're chatting, I absolutely will. All right, let's dive into part 3. How to land this free publicity, right? If you're here with me today, and feel free to let me know too in the chat. If you're new to PR, this might seem like, wow, yeah, that sounds great. But how do I do this, right? Like you've been doing this for a long time, Rena, 15 years. Of course, it sounds like easy street for you, but I'm telling you, as I mentioned in the very beginning, it is not rocket science. It is relationships, right? And if you can follow me for the next few slides, I'm going to share with you some of the ways that we can help build these media relationships and help bring your brand into the spotlight. But the first thing that we've got to do, and if you can consider this step number 1, we've got 6. So stick with me here. Document your differentiators. When a journalist is writing a story, what they're looking for is the good old who, what, when, where, why, how. Why should I care? Why should I care right now? What is so important about your business that I need to stop what I'm doing and pay attention? These are your differentiators. And the foundation of effective PR is having a clear, authentic story that resonates with your audience while also being attractive enough to grab the attention of the media, because we don't want our story to get lost. And if you're a business owner like me here today, chances are you have a story behind your brand. And if you don't think it's good enough, I promise you there's probably something in there, whether it's behind your product or behind your service, that is of interest. That is a differentiator, right? So reflect on the purpose of your brand. You may have started your business to solve a problem. That is a great place to start when it comes to your differentiators, right? If you have a business plan, by the way, you may have already done this exercise in there. So this can help save some time, is reviewing some of those differentiators to help define your why, because that is really going to be the core of your pitch, which, not to jump ahead, but we of course are going to talk about how to pitch the media here in just a moment. So while you're doing this exercise, and I recommend something as easy as opening a Google document or creating one. I have one on my desktop that I just call like brain dump. And it just stream of consciousness. Ask your friends, ask your customers, like, why do you like us? Why do you shop from us? What is it about us? What's our special sauce, right? feel free to use some time to brainstorm. And I want you to also kind of think in terms of headlines, right? Like when you are scrolling on the news or social media, what catches your eye? Think about that for just a second, as we'll talk about this a little bit more in step 2. But some pro tips that I also want to share with you as you are considering what your differentiators are, especially lined up with what we're trying to do, achieving press coverage for your brand, is that you want to look also at some recent press coverage of your competitors, right? To also see what is the story around them, right? Because if one journalist or one outlet has covered a particular angle, that's usually a good indication there's something there that we need to pay attention to that might help benefit our business. So if you don't have yet Google alerts set up for you as the founder or for your team, for your business, for your industry, and for your competitors, this is also a really good time to do that, because you can just have that information served to you to stay on top of industry trends and so forth too. Let's go into step 2 now. One of my favorite steps is identifying your target media. This is so, so important. What I don't want you to leave with today is just identifying a media outlet and emailing like news@entrepreneur.com. It's going to go nowhere. I promise you that. But what we want to do is reach the right people with our message at the right outlet. And of course, we want to work backwards. Where's your audience getting their news? Or where's your potential audience getting their news? If you're a wellness brand, you're probably going to want to look at health and wellness media outlets. From there, we want to work backwards with, if you're a product-based brand, a service-based brand, an expert of some kind, identify who at that outlet would be the best person to share your story with, or send samples of your brand, something along those lines, right? There are, my friends, many kind of like media databases out there where you can punch in a keyword and get, a list of journalists and things like that. You still have to really dive in and vet them and so forth. I honestly think, and I'm not someone you would call old school, but I honestly think that the most successful strategy there is to identifying the perfect people to pitch your product or service with is just reading the news, right? Success leaves clues, as we say. Journalists leave clues about what they like to write about. So if you want a successful pitch, find those clues that are already existing in the media. So that is a great way to be able to identify those key contacts at the key media outlets that you want your brand to be featured in. And you can use something as simple as like the Apollo plugin. I love this one, to be able to quickly get an email address for that journalist and reach out to them that way, of course, as well too. So again, pro tip for you for step number 2, identifying your target media, is check the outlet's media kits to also understand their audience and pitch requirements. A media kit is basically, it could be a PDF, it could be a web page on a certain media outlet's website. It is typically buried, so you'll have to do a little bit of digging, but they will express in these media kits, which are really targeted for advertisers, but includes editorial guidelines in them as well. They'll share what their pitch requirements are, deadlines, if they're working on anything, in the not so distant future, a particular issue. They work on these calendars weeks, sometimes months, years in advance. And a lot of these major media outlets will share those with you. So cull through those media kits, because you're also going to really, really need them for step number 3, which is creating a plan. And I know so many of us, like, you probably have a business plan, a marketing plan. Gosh, do I really have to stop and create a PR plan? I highly advise you do. And the reason being is that there are really 2 kinds of media, right? There's what we call short lead media and what we call long lead media. Short lead media is mostly like digital media, so the .coms of the world, whereas long lead media are the glossies, TV, podcasts, etc. And for long lead media especially, deadlines are often defined months in advance, as I said. So those media kits will tell you, for the most part, like, okay, I've got a sunscreen brand, and we know that like sunshine season starts in the spring. When should I pitch this to Martha Stewart, for example? Well, It's January now. I would say you need to pitch it now because those issues are they're going to be published and on newsstands in March, April, right? So when we build that plan, we can work backwards from it so that not just that we are hoping our stories hit at a certain time, but we're getting our brands into the inboxes of the right journalists at the right time to give them enough time to consider us for inclusion. So putting together that outreach plan is so, so important. It doesn't have to be anything terribly fancy. This exercise alone is an absolute game changer because if there's one thing that I've seen happen with folks that are a little bit newer to PR, unfortunately, is that they pitch too late, right? You can almost never be too early in some ways. I mean, obviously now, like the holidays are behind us, if you have an advent calendar brand, don't pitch advent calendars for 2025 yet, obviously. But in general, right? Like we want to make sure the longer the runway, the better the takeoff. We do that with a robust PR plan. But your PR plan should be alive, right? Like just because you've documented it doesn't mean that it's not going to change. It likely will change. We see that in the media all the time. There are things that we just cannot predict. Yes, maybe we can predict that the March, April issue will come out on this date and have this things, but especially from a short lead avenue, you don't know what the news will bring next week or what's trending on TikTok that suddenly we've got someone on the team that can weigh in on for the media. I see that happen all the time. So keep revisiting that PR plan, but also keep remembering to be agile in your efforts as well too. You guys still with me? I know I'm running through this fast, but I want to make sure that we're good on time. So any questions, let me know. Step number 4, prepare those creative assets in advance. So in other words, I want you to take the time to put together a press kit. Press kit is basically just a term for either a document or a Google Drive or something along those lines that has some of those assets that are so necessary for a journalist when covering your brand, right? So when you're thinking about your PR plan and you are trying to get your brand covered at a certain point, when you hear back from a journalist, one of the first questions that they're going to ask you if they want to cover you is, where do I get high-res photography? I need a bio. Send me your website links, all of that. It is going to make things so much easier for them and so much better for your chances of getting that coverage, right? Because this is earned coverage. We're not paying for it. If you have all of your assets in order right away. Okay. So high-res photography, a bio is very helpful. If you're a product-based business, ideally you've got some samples that you can part with and send back or send it to media, right? Because we want them to try your product or even your service as well too. Because you are here today at the webinar, for those that are here with us live in person today, stick with me till the end. I'm going to drop a link in the chat. I actually have a press kit template for you to help save you a ton of time. These are the same press kit templates we use for our one-on-one clients at FACTEUR PR. It's plug and play, super easy. And our editorial friends tell us all the time they love it. Makes their life easy breezy, lemon squeezy. And that is ultimately what we're trying to do for these journalists and for you here today. So stay tuned for that link here in just a moment. And very much like the PR plan, you're going to want to come back to that press kit every so often if you've got new coverage, new awards, things like that. It is a living document, updated every few months or so, or have an intern do it, something like that, just to keep all of the information accurate. Number 5. Ooh, this is the scary one for a lot of people, but I promise it's not that scary. It's time to make contact with your pitch. So your pitch is how you turn your narrative into media coverage. And I get asked all the time, like, whoa, how do I make a good pitch? What's a good pitch? What if I say the wrong things? Stick with me. It's not too hard. In fact, it's easier than you think. First thing that I can tell you that journalists tell us all the time, because some get up to 800 email pitches a day. And yes, email is still the preferred way of a journalist receiving a pitch. Make it short and sweet. Short and sweet. And my pro tip for you is to really end your pitch with a call to action. Tell the journalist what you want, right? Or what is the question, and make it a yes or no question. If you're getting 800 emails a day and every email ends with, I look forward to your thoughts, or what do you think? Oh my gosh, that's going to take you weeks to get back to everyone, right? But if you end with a simple question, are you interested? Is this a story topic that you would like to explore? Can I set up an interview? Yes or no, right? Super easy to get back to people that way. So keep your pitches short, sweet, to the point as well. And you want to make sure, of course, that it's tailored to the person that you're pitching. So none of this like, dear sir stuff, right? Like if you're emailing Allison, hello, Allison, right? Keep it personalized. Even better if you read a recent story from that reporter and you can really personalize that pitch and give them a compliment as well, because we're talking about building relationships, and a lot of that is that give before we ask as well too. And you're going to want to follow up on that pitch. I assure you that most of the time, the first pitch, it'll get opened, but won't always get responded to right away. We often say here that the fruit is really in the follow-ups. Most of the time, we will hear back from editors on the second, on the third email. And you're going to want to follow up about 3 to 5 days after you send your initial pitch, okay? Keep following up, but don't be annoying. Okay. I'll tell you a little bit about this resource here in a minute where I can help you understand like a good cadence when it comes to pitching and following up and so forth. But the key takeaway here is that you got to read the news regularly, adjust your pitches specifically for the people that you are pitching, the outlets that you're pitching. It's okay to adjust it to be more trending or timely, things along those lines too. So much of it is just kind of like common sense, right? Put yourself in the editor's shoes. Like, how do you want to be addressed and communicated with? It's very, very similar, right? Editors are people too. Tip number 6, or I should say step number 6, right? Like, let's say you hear back from a journalist, yay, you're going to get covered, or they're interested in covering you. I want us to take this over the finish line, right? So first rule of thumb, be great to work with by not missing deadlines. Missing deadlines is like a cardinal sin for journalists, right? If you want to get blacklisted, how to not become a media magnet is ghosting on an editor, okay? Mistakes happen, life happens, of course, right? But in general, I want you to be known as someone who is wonderful to work with, right? Because this is how you really becoming a media magnet, right? Is like right now we're talking about pitching the media, but if you are great to work with and you provide solid insights, you've got a clear plan, you know what you're doing, your press kit and your assets are ready to go, you start getting your own reputation with the media as being a fantastic source or business to work with, and then they start coming to you. That is the goal, is that they start coming to you. Here at Factor PR, I kid you not, probably 100 different press opportunities every day. And I've been doing this for a long time, but 100 different opportunities every day from journalists that say, I need a source for this. I need a source for that. They're literally coming to us. And that is what I want for you in the future too. Follow these 6 steps. And I assure you, if you keep at it, it will happen. And I know those were a lot of like slides, so to speak, but as promised, I wanted to also show you how to do this in just 1 month, right? Because it's absolutely possible. There is a lot of time and some heavy lifting that we have to do, but you just have to do it once, right? You just have to build a press kit one time. You just have to do a PR plan and revisit it, but just have to build a PR plan one time per year. So I show you, and you'll get this after the training as well too, how to actually implement these steps in 30 days to start getting press coverage for your brand. And this is very similar formula that I've been doing here at Factor PR for now almost a decade, but tweaking it, of course, to make sure that it's still relevant and it's still effective too. Whew, that was a lot. And you might be feeling like that was a lot, right? And that's okay, right? But just remember here why you're here today, right? You're probably here again, you own a business, you are responsible for the growth of a business, and it's 2025, my friends. And as I talked about at the very beginning, you are absolutely worthy of media coverage, right? This isn't left or reserved for those with massive budgets and huge PR teams. I've seen it that way, but I've also seen it, as I shared at the beginning, the example with Naprim Naturals, happened in 2 weeks for a solopreneur that's promoting her dry shampoo, her small batch dry shampoo, right? It's totally, totally possible if you follow these steps. And just imagine sharing your business journey in top tier outlets, those as seen in logos on your website, right? And we're really starting to attract customers and clients to us, not just pursue them, right? And you might be wondering, why is she telling me all this stuff? Like she does this at her day job, right? Running an agency all the time. It reminds me a lot of that proverb, right? When you catch a fish, you can eat for a day. But if you learn how to fish, you can feed yourself for a lifetime, right? This is a skill every business owner needs to have, right? Whether you are physically the one pitching or someone on your team is physically the one pitching. Today, we're talking about how to earn media coverage, but sometimes media coverage also happens when you don't want it, right? When there's something like a crisis, God forbid, right? So you have to have a really good understanding of how the media works. It is a business skill, right? I was going to say it's a life skill, arguably, right? But it is a business skill, right? And I want to teach you how to leverage this business skill to empower your business, right? To help grow your business. So what I've come up with is this incredible program that we are launching this month. It's actually, doors just opened yesterday, called the DIY PR Project. And if you are a small business on a small budget, small team, stick with me because there's literally nothing else like this on the market. I did that on purpose because I sincerely believe in over delivering. I do this for my clients at FACTEUR. And I want to help do this for you with the DIY PR Project, which is an online training and community membership that will help you learn how to earn press coverage for your business and help you leverage that press coverage to help boost your bottom line as well. It's a 3-part membership, right? So there's multifaceted. We have a DIY PR masterclass. So if you liked what you heard today on the webinar, I'm going to be expanding on it and actually showing you how to build out your press kit, actually showing you how to build out a PR plan as well too. So it's like working with a publicist without having to work with a publicist directly, right? Like work with a PR agency. I'm also going to be doing live weekly support calls as well too. So every Friday we can hop on the phone and I can help you go through any questions. We'll review pitches, all of that stuff, right? And then we also have an incredible community aspect to this as well too. So in addition to mingling with other business owners, sharing your wins, I mentioned earlier the 100 media opportunities that we receive every day at FACTEUR PR. I don't, with my one-on-one clients, have a suitable fit for all of these media opportunities. So I'm actually sharing them in the community as well too. So you'll have access to these media opportunities directly in the community that you can get emailed to you or sign in and check them out and actually pitch your product, service, expertise to the media for these opportunities as well. So again, you're getting this incredible masterclass. You're going to actually learn this important business skill, how to get earned media coverage for your brand. You're going to get the workbooks and templates that come with all of those modules as well too. So we're not just going to talk about how to build a PR plan. I'm going to give you a template of a PR plan, and we're going to work through that together. We're going to have these weekly live group coaching meetings as well too. And as you know, I mentioned the community also, which is a great way to network, mingle. Sometimes I would always wish, like, who can I go and talk to about like PR stuff? This is the place for that. And it doesn't just stop there. We have so many good bonuses. I know you guys are busy, right? And I don't want to suggest something and not have a resource for you. So I've also put together 30 different bonuses as part of this program. A lot of them are media related, but we also have influencer and social media too, because it's all really part of PR as well. So everything from how to measure ROI, calculate the value of media coverage, securing gift guide coverage, relationship building, if you get a meeting with a journalist, what to say, how to say it, all of these good things. Approved pitch angles that you can use in the media. So that'll help kind of formulate those hooks and headlines, how to actually assemble your electronic press kit, ChatGPT prompts for PR. I'm not against ChatGPT, but we have to use them wisely because we can't be chat GPTing interview answers. They will not get used in media coverage of things along those lines. So we're going to help you navigate that as well. Like I mentioned, lots of different templates, pitch templates, how to maximize your media coverage for more impressions, how to nail an email interview, a media training guide, which is incredible as well too. We're actually going to do a video on this. Again, those influencer pitch template, contract template, measuring the impact of influencers, how to negotiate with influencers. These are not just, we did not chat GPT these, speaking of which, these are actually methods that we employ at Factor PR to get results for our clients. And you can have access to those, of course, as well too. Mention the social media engagement, hooks to reel in your audience. I'm starting to lose my voice talking about all of this, but basically there's a lot packed into this program, right? And we've calculated it's over a 17,000 value just as it is compared to the cost of working with a PR agency like ours that averages about 65,000 a year. When we do all of this for you, the DIY PR project is less than 1,000 a year, right? So it's like working with a PR agency without the agency cost, right? So you can subscribe to the DIY PR project on a monthly basis if you prefer. I totally get that. Or you can get access to everything that I've listed here today upfront for $999 a year. And it gets better if you sign up today. Our team will put together a free curated 100 media contact list for you. So when we talked about calling through media outlets and finding the right people to pitch and all of that, we'll do it for you if you sign up today. So if you're ready to put your brand in the spotlight and you're ready for us to teach you, the DIY PR project is incredible support that, again, you will not find all of these resources and access in any other kind of program online as of today. And our members have been putting this program to the test now for 5 years. And these are just some of the places, major media, that they've been able to secure press coverage in. And Pam has said she's taken a lot of PR courses and workshops, and this is the only one, or I should say, this is the most clear and concise one, she said, that we're so generous with the content. Zulima said that she feels empowered to start promoting her business with intention and that the templates are gold, which I love that for her. If you are maybe not the business owner, but you're a marketer, you're definitely going to learn a lot in the DIY PR project too. Karina is a marketer, and she said that this was exactly what she needed and that it makes her work as a marketer so much better and more efficient to have an understanding and access to tools on the PR side of things. I would love to take this to the next level with you guys and help you earn media coverage for your businesses. The doors opened today, right? So if you sign up today, you get that curated media list, you get access to the community right away, and you get access to the media opportunities right away. And starting January 29th, we're going to be doing the DIY PR Masterclass live. So if you want accountability too, to follow these steps to get press coverage for your brand, there is no better time to sign up. Doors will close on January 26th, and they will not open again until the spring. So I really want to make sure that if you sign up for the DIY project, that you're getting this concierge type service when you sign up, that you have access to the community, you have access to me and my team as well to help get free press coverage for your brand in 2025. So would love to have you there. If you are interested, you can sign up at diy-pr.com.